Hello and welcome to the oncology ward at the Churchill Hospital in Oxford on this beautiful, warm, sunny April day. First off, let me show you my view from my window, from my private room. This orange bag across my shoulder is Cisplatin, which is a chemotherapy drug I mentioned in a previous video, which is a life-saving drug. It's also a very powerful toxin. So directly before this infusion, I'm given something to prepare my kidneys for the onslaught, which is happening right now. So this is the chemical which is, directly responsible for me being very bald. Look at the shine on that, guys. Look at the shine on that. Woo! And responsible for other things such as reducing the size of the tumour. Anyway, but yeah, also the view out here is great. So I don't know how much you can see, but it's very green. Sorry if the reflection is getting in the way. The white building, I think, is the Warneford Hospital. All the hospitals are clustered around a similar place. And if you can see that grey building reflecting there, that is called Maggie's Centre. So yeah, I get a good view of the sky as well. Maggie's Centre is interesting because it's a dedicated cafe for people going through cancer treatment, and their families will come and visit them, and you get free tea and coffee and great biscuits there. I once gave a talk there to men who were either about to have their testicle removed or had their testicle removed, and that was really nice to be able to share my experience of that, like prior, during and after the operation, and to give my perspective on how it shaped me physically and other things. So for example, many people have chosen not to have prosthetics. I've chosen to have a prosthetic. There were lots of questions along those lines. Some of those questions I probably shouldn't repeat. They were very funny questions, but yeah, you can catch them on the Tumour Diaries After Dark video series, which will be coming out soon, I'm sure. I'd like to start with a recap because it has been a while since I've uploaded a video. It's been it's been about 2 months really. So I'm on week 10 now. My last video was in week 2. And yeah, interestingly, it was at the end of the second week when my hair started to fall out. I think I actually mentioned it in that video. So by the beginning of week 3, I've looked like this. My hair had mostly fallen out. In fact, all I needed to do was this, because my hair had become unattached from my head. All I needed to do was kind of stroke it, as it were, and like the guy doing the pipe with the snakes, or the rats, the Pied Piper of Hamelin. I don't know if that analogy works. Let's skip over that. All I needed to do was this, and my hair fell out, and the last residual bits I just shaved. So that was that. But as you know, this also means that the tumour is being reduced in size hugely, which is great. Which is obviously the most important thing. What else? I had my birthday, which was wonderful. I was lucky enough that the lockdown had loosened up, so I had some friends and come over, and Trixie came as well, which was great. We had a lovely day. It was a little bit grey, but we still managed to eat in the garden. Lots of pizzas and frittata, which was nice. But main course really was the chocolate cake, which somehow got finished within 2 or 3 days, even though there were 16 slices, which has nothing to do with why my face is so puffy. That's totally different. Totally different. But yeah, it was so good to see everyone. COVID has gone on for more than a year now. That was my second lockdown birthday. And of course, I've been shielding since January, I think. So haven't really seen anyone outside my little bubble since January, kinda. So it was wonderful. I think we were all pretty tired after socializing. But I gave myself this birthday present of this cat with its cool headphones and sunglasses. And I got myself some other cool presents as well, mostly just clothes. And my lovely Aunt Bernie got me an amazing present, which is this, which has revolutionized my style and is now another reason why I get wolf whistles in the streets, and another reason I get stared at in the streets. Very, very happy with this. And I didn't know this until recently, but I'm supposed to use sun cream because my skin is a lot more sensitive. My body is just a lot more sensitive in general. My skin is a lot more sensitive. So even though it's only about 15 degrees, I've been told that, yeah, sun cream and factor 50 sun cream. Are you finished? Is what I'm supposed to be using all the time. So I think if I walk around with this, it covers most of my head. I could just wear that. And if that doesn't work, then Paola and Denny, you guys got me this. So my judge's wig as well. I'm just missing a gavel, and I can walk into Oxford Town Hall and pass my judgment on people not just in the streets, but also in a courtroom, which is great. There's so much of it. Might just keep it on. Might just keep it on. So I had a lovely birthday. I'm also going to go to, as a birthday present, go to a music festival in London in the August bank holiday, because I'm probably one of the few people in Oxford who hasn't seen Foals yet, amongst other bands, which should be great fun. I got some nice pink socks with my bald head on them, flying. They had wings, and also some unicorns on those socks as well. I got some nice flowers, got some nice chocolates, got lots of nice presents. And I'm grateful for all of them. And I also got the most amazing thing from Trixie, but it's kind of from the whole family, but it's a collage of photos of people holding up signs, people in the family holding up signs and saying happy birthday, and hope you have a day full of, like, you know, laughter and love and happiness and steroids. Most important thing, that's the cherry on the cake. So that was a really nice present to receive. It's actually, I woke up to it, I was in bed, I received a photo of that from Trixie, and it made me cry. Imagine that the first thing you do on your birthday is you cry. Thanks a lot, Trix. Don't message me again on any day. And that was really, really nice. And just to see everyone involved, you know, more than, it's a big family, you know, Irish family. Good to see everyone. I mean, people who I haven't seen in years, you know, Bilal and Sophia, when was the last time I saw you? And to do that from all the way in South Africa with your beautiful children, it's just so much appreciated, and it's so much more meaningful in a time when there's COVID and you can't see each other and you wish you could see each other. We'd normally have our cousins' days, and this is one way of bringing us together. I'm just thankful that my birthday could bring us together. So let's thank my birthday, not Trixie, huh? All right. Let's remember who's really to thank for. All right. But it's an incredible thing. Aunts, uncles, cousins as well. Lovely, just so lovely, incredibly lovely. I've got it. Trixie gave it to me printed as well, so that's going to go in a very special place. Very special place is the name of my bin. Oh, I don't mean that. I'm sorry. Anyway, so yes, I think I don't have much else to say in the recap. It's actually one reason why I haven't made a video in the past couple of months, is that I haven't had too much to say. I mean, my prognosis has been good, you know, things have been going well. There's been some little hiccups, but not really that impressive to mention. I'll mention some things now, but I've been waiting for some interesting things to happen to really make another video. So, well, one of them is the steroids. So let's start with the steroids. Steroids are part of my medicine, part of my treatment, and really I'm given steroids to combat the fatigue, you know, the wear and tear that happens to my body. So it's to boost, you know, your metabolism. It's to boost your body so you're not always tired, because chemotherapy does just mean being poisoned, and if you don't have anything to combat that poison, then your body, it kind of just deteriorates, which does happen anyway. My body has been deteriorating, but steroids give you, it's a tool in your kit to combat it, really, especially energy-wise and appetite-wise. So, for example, now that I'm in hospital, I'm on 6 steroids a day. When I leave hospital, I'm on 3 steroids a day for about 3 or 4 days. Then that is cut down to 2, and then 1 steroid a day, and then no steroids for a few days. And that happens every 3 weeks. That's my cycle of steroids. Now, my little funny experience with them is that when cleaning one day about a month ago, I cleaned off the table, which reminds me of how many steroids to take and how much medicine to take on X day and don't take that on Y day. And I just cleaned it right off the table and just continued taking 3 steroids a day, even on the days when I was supposed to take 2, 1, and then 0. So naturally, I changed. I mean, I had a massive appetite, and I'm talking, I felt the same before a meal as I did after a meal, which was, I'm hungry. I've never ever had that before. Even though I can have a lot of food in one sitting, I'm always full afterwards, right? But I was not full. I needed less sleep and I had more energy when I woke up. From the second I woke up, I felt like I'd already had a coffee. I started cycling again. I went for walks. These both tired me, but the fact is I wanted to do it and I could do it, even if slowly. So I actually phoned up the ward one day and I said, I've run out of steroids. Can you give me some more? And they conferred with the doctor and said, you shouldn't have run out of steroids by now. What happened? And I explained I could just continue taking them as I normally would, 3 a day. And they said, no, that's not your regimen. So when I came back to hospital, they actually gave me a weaning off. It sounds so silly, like what you give a kid or someone who just is a child and can't read the rules. A weaning off chart. So I followed that last time and it was absolutely fine. So I just couldn't. I've never had steroids before. I still know nothing about steroids really. I was just amazed. But I was just so ignorant. I had no idea why I was so hungry. I had no idea why I had so much energy. I just assumed it was a natural part of the process of getting better. It's not. Anyway, everything's back to normal now. The fact I might seem a bit chipper now is because of the steroids. I still have hardly drunk coffee this year. Yeah, it's just the steroids. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, well, I thought I would make a little list of just tiny physical complaints I've had, just so you can get an idea of what it's kind of like on a day-to-day basis with my body, not just the tumour, as it were. So I'll start with my feet. So, for example, I hardly walk these days, you know, just up and down the stairs, really. I hardly do any exercise. And a consequence of that is the calluses, the natural calluses that you'd have on your feet, I just don't have anymore. So even just doing a little walk will cause my feet to ache. And I mean the aches which stay with you, that you actually want to take paracetamol for, you know? My feet shouldn't ache normally. That's not what feet normally do. So I have to often have my feet lifted up off the floor because they just ache if I do a walk around the house or two. Walking still hurts. Walking is probably the worst thing I can do. It irritates the stent which I have, which just is in such an annoying place. It's like, you know, it's nestled in my bladder and it's like a thorn and it just kind of really provokes and irritates my bladder, and which just is very sore, and it's in such a place that I can't do anything about it. You know, I can take painkillers for it, but really the best thing for me to do is just lie down. So yeah, walking hurts. It also makes me really tired when I walk. My body is just so out of practice. Firstly, it's out of practice, and secondly, the chemotherapy is just constantly bombarding it and taking away all my body's resistance. It's taking away my body's immunity, and it's also reducing my stamina a lot. I really need to rebuild my stamina. This is the worst my stamina's ever been. One odd thing about my hands, my fingers in particular, is they're often dry, so I often have dry skin. Not eczema, but just dry. Even if I'm in a very humid environment, they're often dry. But my fingertips often look wet, as in they look wrinkly, as if you've been in a swimming pool for too long. So that's quite strange. I don't really know why that's there. Twice every 3 weeks I get severe back pain. One is for when I come off the steroids, because I've heard that the steroids stop your body from producing the normal chemical. It suppresses your body's ability to do that. So your body needs a day or two to kind of kickstart that engine of hormones again, or whatever it is. So it really hurts, actually. I do take painkillers when that happens. And the second time I get that in the 3 weeks is when I take when I stop taking filgrastim, which is a series of injections I take to increase my white blood cell count, so my immune system will be stronger. And that also results in a deep chest pain, which is almost paralyzes me at night. It's very restrictive. It feels like there's something around not in my lungs, but around my lungs, like muscular. My oncologist says it's actually my bones, but it feels like it's the muscles around my ribs that just constrict and ache. But it's fine once I've taken painkillers. I went to the JR, I think it was done two or so months ago, because I had aching when I swallowed, and it was like my esophagus, it was acid reflux, but my esophagus was so sensitive that what would happen is I'd eat something and it would come down and my esophagus was like ow, 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 and then it would bring up the acid from my stomach into the really sensitive esophagus, and it was just so horrible, and it happened every single time I swallowed. And I just want to say, thankfully, I'm not getting that anymore. The reason I'm not getting that anymore is my oncologist lowered the dose of my filgrastim, which is the white blood cell kicker. I have very sensitive teeth. Now, I know lots of people do, but I want to say, if I have a glass of tap water, I have to brace myself for the cold. It's not even that cold, right? But I have to kind of brace myself for it. Really not nice. Oh, there's a wasp. No, it didn't come in. And also hot food, the same thing. I have to kind of wait for it. I had a very sensitive tongue recently, and what I mean is everything hurts that went on my tongue. Well, my tongue hurts whenever something went on it, and also it felt like my teeth were constantly cutting my tongue, which is horrible. I get mouth ulcers. I also get blotchy skin. I don't know if you can see on my nose, and also my legs and around my chest. I bruise really, really easily, and the bruises don't go away. I've had these kind of cuts on my hand. I don't know where they came from. I've had them for ages now. I got injected 2 weeks ago with chemotherapy in on my side, and the bruise is still there, and it still aches. That was 2 weeks ago, so these things don't go away quickly. Let me run through some other words. Oh yeah, so sometimes I get a bit nauseous from the chemotherapy, so I take anti-nausea pills. They are supposed to make you constipated, so I have laxatives for them. So there's all these little side effects of the side effects of those other medicines. But one thing you should know is, because I had my colonoscopy a few months ago, they gave me this incredibly horrible rocket fuel, which is a powder you mix in a drink. It's lemon flavored, and it cleans out your guts, and it makes you have a horrible time on the toilet. Anyway, I've still got some left. I've got enough. I have enough that when I do meet my arch nemesis, whoever that is, well, if I'm a judge, probably I assume that's a criminal. I am going to find them, and I'm going to put it in their drink, and they're going to have a horrible time, because really, I'm not a judge. I'm a horrible, bald bastard. We all knew it's the truth. We all knew it. Look at that shine. Oh my God. Proper lout. I need to go to a football game and start chanting anything. With 20 pints. After I've sunk 20 pints, I'll do that. Anyway, almost finished. So yeah, it still hurts to pee, but it hurts less to pee. So my pain was probably an 8 out of 10. Now it's gone down to a 5. Yeah, I need a long time to recover after I walk. I need about 3 days to recover after I walk. I got out of breath doing the hoovering the other day, and I'm not exaggerating. But the one thing I want to say to finish this list of complaints is that all of this is better than the pain I had in January and February, which I think in my next video I might go into more detail about. But all of what I'm suffering right now is nothing. Really, it's nothing. These are tiny complaints. It doesn't make me cry. It's really not that bad at the end. Anyway, this is an extremely long video, my gosh. 2 things to finish with. The first thing is to say, on the 7th of May, I have a scan, and there are 3 possible outcomes of the scan. So the first possible outcome is they find that there's no residual tumour, and they won't need to do an operation. That's the best case scenario. The second possible outcome is they find that there is some tumour left, and they need to conduct an operation to remove those bits of tumour that the chemotherapy didn't remove. The third possible outcome is basically the second one. So they operate to remove the tumour, but also they will remove my left kidney. So that's the least favourable outcome. And that would be because during January and February, when the tumour was massive, remember, it was bigger than a melon. Not a watermelon, but a normal sized melon. It was bigger than a melon. It was battering my left kidney a lot. That's why I have a stent there right now. And there is a chance that actually it was battered beyond repair, and they need to find out the answer to that. So there's nothing I can do. It's out of my hands, so I'm not going to worry about it. But the 7th of May, I have a scan, and depending on the outcome of that, I might either lose a kidney or I might be absolutely fine and out of the woods. So we'll see. Watch this space. There might be a space. Which, if I do lose that, it means I'll have lost a left testicle, an appendix, and a left kidney. I'm born with all the wrong parts. And the final thing I want to say is just a nice shout out to family and friends that have been so lovely over this journey I've had over the past few months. And I just want to say, it all matters. All of your comments and texts and phone calls and everything, your cards and your presents. It all matters very much to me, and I very much appreciate it. Won't forget it. And thank you very, very much.